Well, howdy again, friends. This is your good buddy Hillbilly Scribbs with you again, and we're here for another one of these episodes of the Hillbilly Hollar, and we're going to be looking at what went on in the movie trivia face-off fan league last week and what's coming up in the week to come. So you guys just sit back and enjoy the show, and we're going to dive on in. Going to start this week off just with something a little bit different. Last week on some of the social medias, I asked if there were anyone that had any questions for the Hillbilly, and we're going to start off with a question that I received, and I think it's a pretty good question, but here goes. This one comes from friend Zoe, and she sent this in the mail, and what she asks is, asks, Dear Mr. Hillbilly, why is it in some of your videos you are in different locations? Well, that's a good question, Miss Zoe. The reason being that some of my videos are in different places is because on account of I do some of them outside around the Hillbillies camp in some of the woods around there, and I try to move those around a little bit and not show any landmarks on account of I don't want any of any like secret government agencies like knowing exactly where I'm staying. Some of my videos I do in my good friend Jeffrey's apartment. That's where I film my matches on account of him having the air conditioning there, and the Hillbilly gets a little nervous and tends to sweat a lot during his matches, so that helps out. And then also some of my videos I do right here, and this is in my super secret clubhouse. This is where I do all of my investigating research, and this is where I dig deep into mysteries and conspiracies. So there you go. I hope that answered your question, Miss Zoe. If any of you other viewers have any questions for the Hillbilly, feel free to drop them in the comment sections down below after the video. You can also reach out to me on the Facebooks and on the Twitters and on the Instagram things. But let's go ahead and get into the show. We got a lot to cover this week. So recap from last week, we had 2 matches. Now in our first match last week, we had that Titan feller, and he went and beat the sniper. And hold on. Oh, you know what? Before I recap that next match, let me do something. We can't ever be too careful around here. And I'm about to be talking about some sensitive things. Okay, that's better. We don't ever know who's listening, and this tinfoil will actually help protect you and keep people from being able to listen in on what you're saying, and also will keep people from being able to hear your brain waves and your thoughts. Okay, so I still ain't found out anything about these fellers. I believe that they are most likely pod people put here by the UFOs. They may even be Skrulls, but we'll have more on that as it becomes available. Shh. Don't be telling anybody about any of that quite yet. I'm still doing a lot of investigating research on it. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about our next match. Put my hat back on. In our geektacular match last week, we seen the King of the Earth go and defeat the Big Sow feller. But let's move on from our recap last week to our matches coming up this week. So we're going to have 2 matches this week. Our first match that we're going to have is the first match in our singles division championship tournament. So this will be the first match, and whoever ends up winning this tournament will be our first singles division champion. So that's pretty cool. Now, our tournament's going to be kicking off on the 21st of July. And here's a quick look at the brackets of the tournament. Now, in this first match, we're going to have this feller calls himself Savage Scott Harvey, and he's going to be taking on this feller Kyle King and Norf Gerbrand. And here's what I can tell you about these fellers. This Savage guy, he was in like the first movie trivia face-off match ever, and he won that, and that's how he got into the tournament. And he's also from Tennessee. And you know, I got a cousin in Tennessee. Actually, I got several cousins in Tennessee, but this one cousin I got in Tennessee, my cousin Buford, he's a good old boy. He used to be one of them there professional wrestlers. Yeah, pretty good at it too. But his wife made him quit, and then he became a sheriff and kind of cleaned up this little town he lived in. Used to go after bad guys with his big old hickory stick. It was pretty funny to watch, as long as you were on his good side, that is, and not a bad guy. We might need a fellow like that in the league, you know, because they're on account of them being a lot of bad guys around here. But we'll see. Hopefully I don't have to call up Cousin Buford. But anyway, back to Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage Scott Harvey, he is from Tennessee, and he was in the first MTFO match. So expect good things from him. Now this guy he's going to be facing off against, he calls himself the King into Norf, and he's a Canadian. I guess that's the Norf he's talking about. See, they kind of spell up there the way we spell in the mountains. But anyway, he's the editor of the Movie Trivia Face-Off fan league as well. I don't really know why you need an editor. Edit this thing. Why do I do that? Edit. Ding, 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 dong, ding, do. How does what I do? So there you go. I think this is going to be a really good match, and it's going to be a great kickoff for our tournament. I'd like to say I got a horse in this race, but I really don't. So we'll just have to. We'll just have to see who wins. I don't really have a pick for this week. But I guess if I were going to pick, maybe I'd go with that Savage feller, since I got family in Tennessee too. But moving on, we got another match later this week. It's going to be on the 24th of July, and it's going to be a geektacular match between James the Cleanser Spence and Chris the C-Dub Woodrow. And what I can tell you about this Cleanser feller is that he's no slouch. He knows his stuff. Don't let the 0-1 record fool you. Now he's also been rumored to be in this dollhouse organization that's led by that doll face lady. So I'd watch out for this one. Now what I can tell you about this C-Dub feller is that he's from Baltimore, Maryland, and he's possibly the result of some genetic cloning. And this would be a cloning experiment that would involve him and Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and comedian and actor Will Ferrell and Red Hot Chili Pepper drummers Chad Smith. I think the proof is right in front of you, and it's pretty undeniable. Well, friends, that's about all we got for this week. Really looking forward to both the matches coming up next week. Can't wait to see what happens there. Till next time, make sure you take a look down in the links down in the description of the video, and you can find a link to get you to the Movie Trivia Face-Offs channel on the YouTubes. You can also find a link to my TeePublic store, so you can look as good as Hillbilly, and you can also find a link to the Schmodown's Patreon page. And if you think you got what it takes, and you want to give this a shot and compete here in these matches too, then just sign up for the Schmodown Patreon. All you got to do is sign up for $2 a month. But you can sign up for more if you want to, and that'll get you in here into the fan league. But that's about it. I'll be seeing you later, and I'll keep rooting and digging around and finding the truth for you guys. A lot of mysteries and a lot of conspiracies going on. But until next time, you all have a glorious day.